rescue expert Larissa Wohl, and you're watching AnimalZone. Today we are in Van Nuys, California at Pups Without Borders, where dogs from all over the globe land in search of finding their forever homes. You're going to meet street dogs, globe-trotting boys and girls that are all waiting for their forever home. And I'm going to introduce you to some of the amazing stories. So sit back, relax, grab a leash, grab some treats, and AnimalZone starts now.
Every year, Care for Paws provides access to veterinary care, pet food, and other critical resources for thousands of families in need along California's Central Coast. Our goal is to reduce pet overpopulation and improve pet family welfare by creating safety nets that keep cats and dogs healthy, out of shelters, and with the people who love them. We cannot do our work without the community's support. Please visit careforpaws.org today to find out how you can make a positive impact.
The hogs!
The dogs!
The bats!
The cats!
I'll take a horse.
A rescue, of course.
The pet rescue expert is here.
We are here now with Eve Banuelos, the founder of Pups Without Borders. And Evie, this place is amazing, first of all. I mean, look at the artwork itself. Tell us about the rescue, kind of the overview of Pups Without Borders and what you guys do.
Yeah, so we have been around since 2020. Most of our team actually did not start in animal rescue. I used to be a musician and a music teacher.
Oh my gosh, that's quite a jump.
Yeah, it was quite a jump, but I'd always volunteered or worked with dogs in some capacity. And while I was a teacher, while I was performing, I would always fill my time with volunteer work as much as I could, right? So I'd finish work and then I'd go work with dogs. And our other team members also worked in other fields. We had someone managing restaurants. We had someone with a pet sitting business. And then COVID hit. And once COVID hit, we were all sort of sitting at home with time on our hands. And it was my roommate, Torin, at the time, who asked why I didn't just foster a pregnant dog like I always wanted to. I'd always talked about fostering a pregnant dog. So I easily found a pregnant dog who needed a foster. Her name was Storm. She was from Mexico. She was abandoned when she became pregnant, which happens a lot. And she had something called TVT, which is more prevalent in Mexico. It's a type of transmissible tumor. So she was pregnant with this tumor that in theory could be contagious to the puppies. It was a whole thing. She ended up having a very safe, happy, healthy delivery, safe, happy, healthy litter. One of our team members actually adopted 2 of those puppies, which is how we met, and now she's our director of operations. So that was our first dog, and we just haven't been able to stop since. We've just been rescuing dogs left and right, and now we have rescued over 4,000 dogs since 2020.
It just takes one dog to open your eyes to the issues at hand and what you can do to help. So you you started by adopting, or I should say rescuing dogs globally, especially down in Mexico. What was that like? And what challenges do they face there that maybe we don't deal with here?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question because since I started like our rescuing in Mexico, I think I almost understood dog rescue in Mexico better than I understood it here. But it was also different because during COVID, as I'm sure everyone remembers, there wasn't a need here. Like the shelters were empty, every foster was available, dogs were getting adopted left and right. And then in Mexico, we actually saw the opposite problem. As soon as COVID hit, people were abandoning their dogs. They didn't have the same kind of help that we had here in terms of workers' compensation, time off, sick leave. Masks weren't mandated, so people were getting really sick, running out of money. They immediately abandoned their dogs. So there was this horrific problem in Mexico, which is why we were trying to be helpful there. Within a year or so, when COVID was coming to an end, we slowly started to see that things were changing here. And suddenly people are going back to work, there's more dogs in the shelter, and here we are today, and the problem is exponential. So since that's happened, we've started rescuing more locally and a little bit less internationally, though the problem is still there. But honestly, here locally, it's about as bad as it was in Mexico during COVID. There's just an overpopulation problem that we never could have imagined. The shelters are overflowing. The government isn't enforcing spay and neuter, so it's just getting worse every day.
Yeah, and what of the animals that you bring into Pups Without Borders now, the ones locally, where are they coming from? Hoarding situations, shelters, owner surrenders? What do you take in?
Yeah, everything. So yeah, I'd say
no dog left behind.
Yeah, right. The vast majority of dogs that we take in will either be from a shelter or strays, like someone saw them living out in a field or under a bridge or something, or they were out as strays and they got brought to a shelter.
Sure.
But yeah, they come from hoarding situations, they come from being dumped, they come from fires, they really come from everywhere. And there's definitely certain areas in SoCal that are more prone. I think the areas that have worse spay and neuter programs tend to have more stray dogs.
Right. Let's talk about somebody watching this and goes, okay, well, that sounds amazing. I'd like to help or get involved. What would you love to see people doing for either for you guys or just rescues and shelters in general? Because we know everybody needs help.
Everybody needs help. And that's a huge thing right now. Every shelter, every rescue could use help. And I'm a huge believer in the fact that we should all be helping each other. You know, there have been huge divides between rescues and shelters. And, you know, I'm guilty of it myself. We all have our predispositions and our experiences, but I think if we can all continue to work together to help each other and just remember that the end goal is to save as many lives as possible. So the best way that people can do that wherever they are is spay and neuter, spay and neuter. Yes. Spay and neuter.
Yes.
Enforcing spay and neuter, encouraging your government officials to enforce spay and neuter. Spay and neuter your own dogs, even if you think they'll never get out, they will. We have had so many oopsie litters that come to us, so many people who said, I was gonna get my dog fixed. It's expensive and that's hard, but there are resources in every state and every city where you can find low-cost spay and neuter. And I guarantee you, if you cannot afford to get your animal fixed, if you contact a rescue close to you, just ask them and they will cover it. We are all so dedicated to spaying and neutering as many animals as possible.
Someone once told me it's like, if we don't spay and neuter, it's like emptying a boat filling up with water with a spoon.
Oh,
like
yeah.
we're not getting to the bottom of the problem.
Not even close, yeah.
So I absolutely agree. Okay, what about fostering, donating,
course,
adopting, of course?
Yeah, so I like to think of rescue on the large scale and the small scale. On the large scale, we have spay and neuter, we have government policies being enforced. On the smaller scale, which is honestly how most of us operate, there's getting dogs out of shelters into homes. You can do that by fostering, or even what we've been doing today, which is our Doggie Days Out. So the vast majority of volunteers who came today are not able to foster. Maybe their landlord doesn't allow dogs, or their partner doesn't, or their dog is aggressive with other animals. So they're taking the dogs out for a couple hours on a hike or to the park or to get a puppuccino. And we actually learned from best friends that there is a 14% higher chance of a dog getting adopted if they go on one of these field trips. So we'll be doing this at least once a month, every month, forever. We're encouraging others to do the same. So yeah, volunteer your time for these days out, volunteer your time to help a rescue. As you can imagine, fundraising is the existence at the core of every rescue and every shelter, because we're not a for-profit, so we spend far more than we're ever going to make in minuscule adoption fees and things like that. So if you have the capacity to donate to whatever rescue you trust. If you don't have the capacity to donate, just share, help, foster. Just remember, we're all part of a community trying to work together to make an impact.
Thank you so much. Well, don't go anywhere because we've got to take a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to meet some of the volunteers and the dogs that are getting to go on their Doggie Day Out.
Hey, take a look at these loving animals that you can adopt today. And don't worry, if someone beats you to the shelter, there are plenty more wonderful animals ready to find you and their forever home.
Whether they're explorers or sidekicks, loungers or balls of energy, all animals deserve love and a second chance. With donors like you, Santa Barbara Humane provides affordable, high-quality veterinary care, dog training, and adoption in Santa Maria and Santa Barbara. Vital Safety Net programs support all animals. To schedule an appointment for your pet or to donate to help more, visit sbhumane.org or call 805-964-4777.
Welcome back to AnimalZone. We are here at Pups Without Borders, and they are doing a Doggie Day Out day, which is so exciting. And Emma and Luke are here taking little Susie out for a Doggie Day Out. So Emma, what was it about? I'm guessing you saw the post on Instagram talking about today. What drew you to want to do this?
Totally. I mean, I follow a bunch of dog accounts and rescues and shelters, and I'm always looking for ways I can help out, whether and actually spend time with the dogs rather than just donate. So do a little bit something more interactive. And right now we can't have a dog just because we're moving around all the time, so this is the closest thing we can do.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's what I love about these programs is you can come, you're basically renting a dog for a day, giving them so much love, letting them get their exercise out, and then they get back here and they're tired and maybe they get adopted. Luke, what do you think about this program?
I love that it makes Emma happy, and I love that we can go and be helpful and support these dogs in need, and it's a good deed. I'm happy to do something fun on a Sunday, and it's a restful way to spend the day.
I love that. Now, you've done this before with other dogs, so tell me kind of what the process has been like for you.
It's different every time.
Okay.
In terms of logistics and all of that, it's different every time, and there's always a different situation. I haven't done a doggy day yet, but I've done, we need to get this dog from this shelter to this person. Can you do the transportation? But they're not going to be able to pick up the dog for another 3 days, whatever it might be, whatever it keeps changing. And then I'm like, okay, I can do that. So whenever I can just, spend time with the dogs, and a lot of transportation, just occupy them. But yeah, they've all been different. Every, situation's different. But at the end of the day, it's just spending time and trying to make them happy and show them some love. And yeah.
And what's your plan for today? Do you know where you're going to go?
We have, it so depends on the kind of dog you get. And I didn't know until I got here, which dog, what the temperament is, what the needs are. So if they're good with other dogs, so I think we'll do, we'll take it to a pet store, a cute one, and have it pick out its own toys. Aww. Then we'll go to his brother's house, who has a dog, and very good dog, and we'll see if they're
friends.
Yeah, at least some running around outside, and then we might do a walk, a longer walk outside, and just kind of.
The one thing I want to just make sure people know is that this is such a great way to get these dogs seen by people who might not even know this place exists.
Absolutely.
And you might find someone who says, I want to adopt that dog, and you can give them the info. So it's such a win-win, and I'm so glad you guys are doing this. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, now we have Chris and Cammie. Now, Chris, you say Cammie's your girlfriend. However, I think I want her to be my girlfriend. I'm in love with this girl over here.
She's a beautiful girl.
She is. Now, you're a volunteer with Pups Without Borders.
Yes, yeah.
You're here to take Cammie out and give her a good afternoon in LA. Tell us a little bit about Doggie Day Out programs, why you like them, and what the purpose of them is.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. It's a chance for the dogs to kind of get out. It's although Pups Without Borders are a fantastic organization, as you know, it's kind of organized chaos in the dog world. So a chance for them to kind of get out and relax a little bit and get a bit of experience being away, and a chance to kind of just breathe is just so important for them. And you really do see the difference. They start to relax and fall asleep, which is a very nice thing to see.
Which then makes it even easier for them, hopefully, to find a home. So it's all a full circle effort.
Yeah.
And how long have you been volunteering with Pups Without Borders?
I've been volunteering for around 12 months now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, around 12 months.
And tell me what keeps you coming back.
I think like most people, I stumbled into the kind of dog rescue world through Instagram. Yeah. And it was one of those things that as soon as I saw it, I was like, well, I can't turn a blind eye to this. So I love it. It's been, I love dogs, but it's been very healing for me as well. It's been very important to me and to see the community, and yeah, it's very important.
How has it helped you heal?
I think just in the sense of having, having a purpose, but the sense of community and the phrase that it takes a village. I never understood that until volunteering, and now I'm here every week without fail, and I make reels for the dogs and I take them out, and it's just given me a real sense of purpose.
I love that. Let's talk about Cammie, who is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, she is a stunning dog, and I know you've spent quite a bit of time with her, and she was one that came from a big hoarding situation.
Yes, unfortunately so.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about her backstory and the evolution of Cammie.
Yeah, so she got pulled by a rescue, but unfortunately the rescue were, let's say, not quite of the standard of Pups Without Borders. So she was living in a garage with quite a lot of other dogs, which is obviously quite traumatic for her. But she's now here, safe with this family here, and she's, as you can see, she's a little nervous. But once she starts to relax, like she's been on a few dates at my house now, and it takes her 5 or 10 minutes, and then you start to see them relax, and she starts to think she's a lap dog, and she covers up with me, just like that. Good timing. Thanks, Cammie.
Right on cue.
Right on cue. And there's always this moment for me where they start to trust that they can relax, and you see it on their body language, and you see it, they start to fall asleep and trust. You want that treat? Okay. That keeps me coming back every time, that moment alone. And then, yeah, just the visibility for the dogs. Cammie's just such a sweet one, but she just needs a bit more experience out and about in the world, you know? Learning to become a dog.
And I think when a potential adopter knows that she's spent time with you, she's stayed at your house, she's been vetted to a certain degree, that gives them more confidence too.
100%. And so I make reels for the dogs that I take out on Instagram, and I always try to be quite honest, you know, like not every dog is, dogs are reactive. Like not every person likes every person,
Sure.
Not every dog likes every dog. So we try and be quite honest so people know what they're taking on. But yeah, you get to see her at home, relax and being a goofball, chasing the tennis ball, and it's great. I mean, she's just learning to be a dog again, and that's such a fun process.
What have you seen with the dogs here at Pups Without Borders that have gone on some doggy dates? What have you seen kind of their transformation been like?
They find their confidence, I think. They find their kind of confidence of being, I can be a dog, I can be a goofball, I can be a bit silly, I can fall asleep on the couch. And I just love dogs' personalities. You know, like certain dogs you really see in their eyes, and to see that kind of light in their eyes come as they get the time out, it's incredible.
Oh, and what are you guys going to do today?
We are going to go to the park. There's a park near my house where there's lots of squirrels. Cammie is obsessed with squirrels, so we're going to go and just walk around the park, have a day out, and then probably just relax on the couch, watch the golf, and sleep.
Oh, I love it. Last question. If anybody is watching this going, I wonder if the shelter or rescue near me does a Doggie Day Out program, why should you say yes? Get off your couch right now and go do it.
I think it's one of those things. I think if you're kind of sat on the fence type thing, do a little research. Know what you're getting into. But then, I mean, I guarantee all of the rescues, they're looking for help, and it means so much to them, and it means so much to the dogs. So if you're sitting on the fence, do your research, take a jump, and I love it. It's an amazing community to be a part of.
And it means you don't have to say yes to adopting a dog for life.
Exactly.
You can go have the dog out for the day, get all the love and the kisses and the slobber, and then hopefully they get a home at the end of it.
That's why I say she's my girlfriend, but I want her to find, the right home.
Oh, thank you so much for
course,
what you're
thank you so
doing.
much.
Thanks for watching AnimalZone. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, take a look at these loving animals that you can adopt today. And don't worry, if someone beats you to the shelter, there are plenty more wonderful animals ready to find you and their forever home.
Wildlife baby season starts March 1st. Here are some of our tips for protecting wildlife this baby season. Please protect nests by waiting until September to trim your trees. Keep an eye on your pets to make sure they don't disturb nesting babies or their parents. Please avoid rodenticides and pesticides and use more humane options for pest control. Always call your local wildlife rehabilitation center before capturing orphaned wildlife babies. Thank you!
Welcome back to AnimalZone. I'm here again with Evie with Pups Without Borders. Now, Evie, you are very sweet, but not as sweet as Sugar.
No one's as sweet as Sugar.
Tell me about Sugar and her story.
So we got Sugar and her sister Pecan from the Bakersfield shelter, which is a very high need, high kill shelter here in Southern California. We generally will go and rescue mom dogs, as we talked about, pregnant dogs, orphan puppies. But every time we go, we end up taking a couple adults too. The shelter will usually tell us if there's dogs that are so special that they'll kind of beg us to get them out. And two of those dogs were Sugar and Pecan, and they did not disappoint because Sugar and Pecan are two of the sweetest dogs I've ever met in my life. They've been with us now for about 4 or 5 months. We're surprised they haven't been adopted. They're so friendly with dogs, with people, with kids. We're hoping to find a home that will take them both, but it's hard to do nowadays. So even if we could find 2 separate homes that will have play dates, that would be amazing. And then Sugar here, of course, decided that she needed to cost us a little more money. And she's
high maintenance.
Right,
like me.
exactly, yeah. She got an impacted toenail, which is something that I haven't even seen before. So she had to get a surgery, and then the other toenail got a little infection too. But that's why she's wearing this cone of shame, just because she likes to lick at it. But she's all but completely healed, and yeah, she's gonna go to a doggy bar soon with her sister, and I hope someone sees her and falls in love with her.
Me too. Well, I was just going to ask about kind of the rescue and rehabilitation that goes into these dogs that you get, because I think a lot of people think rescues get these dogs and they're ready to go out the door the next day and they're just perfect. And of course they are perfect in dog, but sometimes they have issues that need to be dealt with in terms of physically. So tell me a little bit about that. How does that work once they get here?
Yeah, I mean, occasionally we get dogs who are quote unquote turnkey. There's nothing wrong with them. They're healthy, but the vast majority come with something that needs help, whether it's an illness, a virus, a parasite, an injury, behavioral help. There's always something. So we try and just evaluate when they first come to us what they could need. We do something called PCR swabs when we get our litters, which is basically a saliva sample that we drop off at our vet, and they can tell us if there's any kind of lingering virus or disease that maybe hasn't come out yet. And that will help us determine when these dogs might be safe to go out with other dogs, or if there's anything they have that's contagious. Those are, of course, I think $200 per test. So those are a huge financial cost. But yeah, we basically do whatever it is that they need. And it's a fun combination of vet care, behavioral support, and anything in between.
Let's talk about some transformations, some happy tales that you've seen along the way, because I'm sure there are many. Any come to mind when we talk about a dog that comes in maybe scared, timid, skinny, and then goes on to be, you know, the dog it was always meant to be?
Oh, absolutely. There's a million. One of my favorites is a dog named Nova, who sadly just passed away a couple weeks ago. But she was one of our first rescues back in 2020. She had been hit by a car in Tijuana and had a broken leg that couldn't be saved. So she ended up being a tripod, three-legged dog. She also ended up being deaf, and she was a black pitty mix. And black dogs are some of the hardest dogs to get adopted. Pit bulls are some of the hardest dogs to get adopted. So we just knew it was going to be a challenge finding a home for her, but she was the most incredible, silly, funny, confident dog. We found an amazing family for her, and then we actually ended up bringing her with us on a show called the American Rescue Dog Show, and she was one of the contestants, and she actually won Best in Belly Rubs, and we have these great pictures of her. It came with a $10,000 donation to our rescue. It was an incredible experience, and she's actually painted on one of our walls here. I'll show you guys later. She really stuck with us and was one of our favorite stories, and I have more if you want more.
Maybe one more.
Okay. Madden. There's a very sweet, incredibly skittish dog named Madden who was found in Barstow, which is a little pocket here in SoCal. And he was one of those dogs that wouldn't make eye contact. He would just sit in the corner and shiver. His saving grace was that he loved other dogs. So we had other dogs come near him and kind of sniff him, and that would help him open up a little. But over the course of about 6 months, he went from, you know, refusing eye contact, not even coming anywhere near us, to shaking, to asking for pets, to giving kisses. And he ended up getting adopted by one of our previous adopters, and his new family member's sibling is now his best friend, and they do everything together. He's now this confident dog that walks around and wags his tail and asks for pets. And yeah, it just took an incredible amount of time and patience and love, and he is completely transformed.
And that's all it takes, guys. A lot of love, some food, some belly rubs.
Food always helps.
Lastly, I've got to ask, while Sugar is here laying on my lap, what are some misconceptions that you hear a lot? And please clear them up, because I know I hear them too, and I just want to go, no, that's wrong.
I mean, I try to explain to people that misconceptions about dogs are so similar to misconceptions about people, right? So to judge a dog based on what it looks like or where it's from, dogs are a lot like us. You know, there's nature and there's nurture. And this dog, for example, she does not know that her breed has a predisposition for, you know, the horrible things that people say about pit bulls. I don't think she could bite if she wanted to. Every dog is different. We've had large dogs and small dogs with behavioral issues. We've had pitties who are so submissive that they just lay on their backs all day. So I think people just need to remember that every dog is an individual, and they are going to be who you teach them to be. And that's what we found, that dogs are somewhat predictable. They're going to show you who they are. They're going to show you who they can be, and to just give them a chance, because they all want to do this. They all want to just be on their backs getting pets and giving kisses.
She's snoring over here a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know she's still awake, but I can hear her kind of starting to go there.
She's ready to go to sleep.
Thank you so much, Evie, for all the work that
Our
you
pleasure.
do.
Thank you for coming.
Oh my gosh, and thank you for tuning in. We are not done yet, though, because when we come back, we're going to meet a girl who is coming with some goodies for these dogs. You won't want to miss it. Welcome back to Animal Zone. We are at Pups Without Borders, and I'm so excited that Ariella and her mom, Michelle, are here. Now, you've met them in a previous episode. Ariella does so much good work, 17 and changing the world. And she has brought some donations here to Pups Without Borders, so we are going to go distribute and make some puppies really happy. Let's go. Well, I don't know about you, but I've had an amazing day here learning all about Pups Without Borders and, of course, all those amazing donations. Thank you so much, Ariella and Michelle. And if you want to learn more about Pups Without Borders, where can they go?
Our social is at Pups Without Borders, or our website, pupswithoutborders.org.
And
our social media is at Reducing Animal Stress, and you can also find our link tree for all our other information.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching Animal Zone. We will see you next time.
Never was a friend so true, never was a friend like you. Canine, you're my best friend. Canine of mine, friend for all time. So glad you're my best friend. Through thick and thin, we'll see things through. Canine of mine, so true. Did I find you or did you find me? Either way, it's still serendipity. When I saw you, it was plain to see you weren't just another lassie wannabe. Oh, canine of mine, friend for all time. I'm so glad you're my best friend.